It's Monday, July 18th, and this is Drive Check, a Cardfight Vanguard podcast. I had to spend $500 today to get my dryer repaired. That's a lot of money. Do you know how many amnesties that is? That's like
5.
10 amnesties at the current price.
But good thing you'll never need 10 of them.
That's true. And it certainly is wonderful. There's something like I've been hang drying my clothes for the past 6 weeks that my dryer's been broken. And there's just something that drying your clothes in the dryer imparts on the clothes that you don't get when you hang them dry. So it's nice to have my old little dryer friend back. So
yep,
that was my excitement from the day. Besides monster hunting,
you guys excited for Gen Con?
So excited!
I am, because I'm going to see a lot of people. So that's the best part of it for me is getting to see a bunch of, obviously a bunch of people from Milwaukee and Minnesota and stuff that I don't ever get to see. It's literally been a year since I've seen Steve, because the last time I saw him was at the last Gen Con. And then there's also listeners to Drive Check that have told me that they're going to be coming, so I'm going to get to meet up with them, and that's cool.
Oh, heck yes, but too bad I won't be there, because I'm obviously everyone's favorite, right?
Yes, you are the star of Drive Check, and
I mean, I am Planet Cray, so it's understandable.
Well, what would we do without you?
Yeah, sorry, I won't be there. I have other planetary duties to take care of.
Yeah, you have orbits to complete.
Orbits to complete.
Cole, did you get some Vanguard in today?
I did. I just barely, right before we started recording.
I did.
Who did you have to play with?
My friend Carl from I went to high school with.
That's cool. Did you play your Gold Paladins or? No,
I'm learning my Dimensional Police, so I was playing my Super Cosmic Hero, and then he was playing my Grand Blue, and he still beat me.
What?
Yeah.
You can't let people beat you with your own decks.
I know. He's just a natural at any card game, though. It just comes so easily to him.
Maybe he's got mind control powers, and he's actually terrible at card games, but he's just convincing you that you lost when you actually won.
Psyqualia.
Well, that's not mind control, but I mean, it transports people to Jack's house, so.
No, it doesn't. It's not my house. It transports people to me.
Yes, well, that's what I meant. So, Jack, did you play any Vanguard recently? Do anything Vanguard related, or has it all been Dragon Ball Z?
I played a couple of games, but it's mostly been taken over by this Pokemon Go craze.
Are you?
So
you're still Pokemon going?
Yeah. So what me and my friend Jesse would do? We'd go Pokemon hunting, and then when our phones would get close to dying, we'd go to McDonald's or Starbucks or something, and then play Vanguard while we wait for our phones to recharge, and then we'd go back out and catch more Pokemon.
You play Vanguard on a greasy McDonald's table?
Well, that's what mats are for.
Oh, thank God. I mean, I've seen people play without sleeves. I've seen people play without mats. I'm just worried about everything.
That's not me whatsoever. No. If I forget my mat, I will not play. I'm just nope, sorry, can't play today.
And you're a double sleever, right?
Well, it depends. With the nice Bushiroad sleeves, I'll double sleeve. If it's just the cheap Ultra Pro sleeves, which is what I use on most of my decks, I don't double sleeve because there's no point.
And Cole, are you a double sleever?
No, eventually I might, but right now I'm really liking the sleeves that I have, so I'm going to stay with them.
Yeah, I did double sleeve into my Pinkie Pie sleeves, but I think it's mostly just so I'll have a use for those Pinkie Pie sleeves, because I bought them a long time ago and I've never been able to use them for anything.
Yep.
So those are the
Goonies sleeves.
Those are the standard side sleeves. standard sized sleeves?
In this program, we call them big boy sleeves. Yes.
Okay, are those the big boy sleeves,
Those
and
are-
you put them over your baby sleeves?
My little boy sleeves. Yes, I have
Little boy.
black little boy sleeves, and then I put those into the big boy Pinkie Pie sleeves. So if you see Pinkie Pie sleeves, you know I'm playing the Link Jokers, because Pinkie Pie is the queen of the Link Jokers, no doubt. So I don't have an errata this week, but somebody in our in the comments in our reviews on iTunes, which I'm very grateful for, mentioned that the Messiah Stride does not have the heart feature.
So it's generic? Is that what you're saying?
I don't know what you mean by generic.
Like it can be used in any Link Joker deck. It's not just Messiahs.
No, the Harmonix Messiah, the one that can be used in any deck.
No, it can't be used in any deck because it's a Link Joker.
No, Harmonix Messiah is a Cray Elemental.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about the new Messiah that was revealed, or did you not hear about that?
Oh no, Flagellate Messiah? No. I'm talking about Harmonix Messiah. That's specifically, they're saying that Harmonix Messiah does not maintain the heart card, and it only gives you 16,000. So
that is false. That is false.
Actually, you know what?
No, it's false. They because they released another printing with the plus and the text on it. It was errated. It does get the heart, and it does get the plus power.
So there you have errated the errata.
I have errated the errata because I am all knowing. I am Planet Cray. We're getting real meta here. We're getting real meta. So basically, that entire little conversation was completely pointless. I'm sorry for wasting everyone's time.
Well, no, because there's a lot of people who feel that it doesn't have it's not a power boost, that it's only
those people are wrong.
Wow.
That was aggressive.
Intense. All right. This week, we are talking about the set that comes out in 2 weeks. The wonderful, beautiful Bermuda Triangles. Blessing of Divas is the set that comes out in 2 weeks. So this week, we're actually going to talk about that set specifically, and then next week, we're going to do our clan review of the Bermuda Triangles. I think overall, the way to look at Bermuda Triangles is they typically cap off a year where new things are introduced throughout the year, and then the new set of Bermuda Triangles will include whatever that new feature is, that new gameplay feature, as sort of a core of their release. Although I think this year's release is a lot of support for everything. So really bringing all of the old Bermuda Triangle styles, and there's plenty of them, into the G era. Not that they didn't have a previous G era set, but now they're even getting more in depth. So, just going over Blessing of Divas, it is so every year in around July there is a Bermuda Triangle set, and typically that is the only set where Bermuda Triangles are released. The only time they were ever released in a main set was BTO2 and never again. And then they also get support in Fighters collections. But if you're looking for Bermuda Triangles at any other time of year, they're not going to be in booster sets. They're not going to be anything else except for their annual clan booster. And this year's set includes 45 cards, where it's 44 new cards and 1 reprint. We'll be going over what that reprint is and why and all that. But 44 completely new cards. And it is only support for Bermuda Triangles. So there are no Cray Elementals in there, no other clans represented. This set does introduce the keyword, so keywords have been the new thing in this past year. So the keyword for Bermudas is Harmony. And a case of this set is $744 listing, at least in my local card distributor, which appears to be a bit more expensive than you would have found for older clan boosters or some of the older half boxes, which, a booster set is usually 2 sides in the box.
Yeah, I thought we weren't going to bring that up because we weren't sure if it was cheaper or not, or more expensive or not.
Well, it appears to be more expensive. So we are
to our uneducated minds,
yes.
perhaps. Yes.
To those of us who don't buy cases, and how many out there really buy cases? Anyways, $744.
A lot of people, especially for this, because of those sweet waifu SPs.
Well, we'll get to that in a little bit.
They're actual waifus.
But Cole, so they now also have some flavor text that they print in Monthly Bushiroad about the set, kind of describing what the theme of the particular Bermuda Triangle set is going to be for this release. So Cole, if you could actually read that text, it explains a lot, I think.
Okay. According to Monthly Bushiroad, it is a big event held every decade in Bermuda Triangle, omitting trivial regulations, and simply to put, it is an event which idols dress in wedding dresses and take part in various events. From top models to newcomers, all idols who have debuted can join. In fact, it can be considered a popularity poll of all Bermuda Triangle idols. The wedding project is not dominated by top idols, and there are many cases that newcomer idols being chosen. Yep.
It's a translation.
Okay. Well, as the wedding project is launched, all production agencies stake their prestiges and try their very best with their respective idols to strive for votes.
So, to break everyone's heart out there, the idols are not in wedding dresses because they're going to be marrying you. No.
What?
They're just in a wedding dress competition.
I'm sorry. I can't handle this stress right now.
Did we just break your heart, Jack? That you're not going to be able to marry reindeer? Oh, he's gone. The planet Cray has left.
He's left the building.
I did say I was leaving, didn't I?
So heartbroken. So it's basically a modeling competition where they're modeling wedding dresses for you. We're going to get more into detail about the insanity of this whole wedding dress component of this particular release.
Man.
I would highly recommend that anyone who is sane put the whole wedding thing out of your mind, because if you focus on that, you're only going to go further insane. So,
oh yes,
what are the new things? There's actually a lot of new things that are happening in this set, and we've only been able to piece out little bits and pieces here and there. But I'm sure there's other things that we are missing that will come out more as time goes on. But definitely a first in Cardfight Vanguard printing. This is the first time that they are releasing a supply set in English. Now, they have done supply sets previously in Japanese only. So for Blessing of Divas, this is the first English supply set, and a supply set are themed items that are not necessarily cards, but are support for the clan or support for this set. So you have a storage box for storing the 2,000 cards that you're going to be buying when you buy a case of Blessing of Divas, a themed deck box, a themed playmat, and there are you get 4 of each of 3 promos that they're basically, I think, the promo cards that would be passed out at the pre-release, but you can get a full playset of these 3 promos as part of the supply set. So, are you guys excited that this is the first time we're seeing a supply set in English?
Yeah,
oh yes, most definitely, because I love Bermuda Triangles.
Dude, that's not the way to look at it. The way to look at
Oh
it
yeah,
is there
I'm
will be
super pumped.
future supply sets of other clans.
No, it's not. It's just the fact that Bermuda Triangle is like the best-selling clan that Bushiroad has, so they milk all of us for all of the money we have.
What was your first clan that you played, Jack?
Exactly my point.
What's the answer? I'm sorry.
Spike Brothers.
That is such a lie. Cole, are you excited for the supply set?
If when it comes out for any of the clans that I play, sure. Although
the Dimension Police supply set.
Or Grand Blue. Oh, what if they did a Rummy Labyrinth one? Oh.
There you go.
Okay, anyway.
There you go.
They started doing this for Weiss Schwartz, at least, with their, I guess, the Weiss side. So, like, the cuter, more, like, Love Live and whatever else that they have. They've got, like, a whole, I'm pretty sure it's, like, the exact same thing, but for that set.
Yes.
So like
I've
eye
seen
candy
them.
sets.
Yeah, Vice is the cute
Yeah.
side, and Schwartz is the cool side. I
Yeah.
have no idea what that means. It means nothing.
It means-
is a bunch
it
of
means
baloney.
It means like the fan service cutesy looking cards are on the Weiss side, and then the
Darker, cooler.
darker actiony gritty cards are on the Schwartz side.
What side is
Yeah.
Sword Art Online on?
Pretty sure it's on the Schwartz side. There's not there comparatively. There's a lot more on the Schwartz side, I think.
I don't know. Well, okay, probably, but they're adding a lot more. I guess sequel sets, sort of.
Okay, because the last time I looked at it, there was a lot more for Schwartz.
All right,
Yeah,
we have reached our limit of Vice Schwartz talk
Yep.
on the Card Fight Vanguard podcast.
Anyway,
All right, Jack, talk about the thing that you've been harping about for the past 2 months.
You mean the Olivia reprint?
Yes, sir.
So the Olivia reprint, much to Will's dismay, is only 5 per case. And so like the reason this is kind of like a big deal is because it was the first in line of many kind of reprints that Bushiroad, if you can really call them reprints, because they're still just as rare as their predecessors, and it's not going to affect the price too much. But
yeah, so they're basically pulling a scam on us, number one, right?
kind of, yeah.
The rare part about it is
It's not it's just rare foiling. It's not actually a rare. Like in the corner of the card, instead of saying R, it says RE:01.
what does that even mean?
It stands for it's reprint number 1. So I'm sure Amnesty Messiah will have RE:02, and so on and so forth.
Did I mention that I invested into Amnesty Messiahs? this past
Ooh.
week? That was
You
my
did
news
not.
update. Yeah. I dropped the cash. I figured they've kind of leveled out at $50 a piece, and
Better than 80 to 90.
you got that right. I'm gonna get those amnesties in my hand. That's what made the dryer repair that much more painful, because I already spent $100 on 2 pieces of paper.
Hey, it's shiny paper. It's
Well,
okay.
I won't be getting Olivia's. That's okay. I spared
So-
myself from this
Yeah.
drama.
For those of you who don't know, Olivia is a Counterblast 1, and you choose a face down card named School Etoile Olivia from your G zone and turn it face up, so it's a persona flip. When this unit attacks a Vanguard, if the number of face up cards in your G zone is 1 or more, you can pay the cost, and then if you do, you choose up to 5 of your rear guards, and then if all of the chosen units have different names, you return them to your hand, and then if 3 or more units were returned, you choose up to 2 cards from your hand and then call them to separate rearguard circles, and then this unit gets +1 critical until the end of the battle. So basically,
You can
it's
bounce
really
your
good.
entire field and then return 2 cards to the field.
so if this is your 3rd attack, then you can attack 2 more times with 2 more rearguards.
Do they have to be in different rows for Olivia?
Yeah.
Okay, so you can attack
So you
2 more
get-
times.
Well, okay, you can attack 1 more time, so
One
you
more
get a booster and a attacker.
Yeah, but there is
But
a
but it's-
card somewhere in this set that also lets you replace your grade 3 with a grade 3 at stand. It lets
Yeah,
you
there
rewrite.
are. Yeah, that's the reindeer support.
Yeah. We're gonna go over some deck builds next week, and we're definitely gonna go over reindeer because that's probably the most economy build that you can do of
Yeah, most definitely.
of the Bermudas. Like when I was putting together, so I'm giving away all my history of Bermuda cards, which is pretty much I've got the illegal print in BTO2 of the forbidden print. I've
Forbidden
got a
print.
ton of EBO2s and I've got a ton of EBO6s. So basically I have the original set, like I probably have everything Pearl and Perla set, and then I have quite a bit of the Prism set, which was EBO6. So that's going away. But I noticed I had like 6 reindeer of the original print. So those are going to go to a happy home to somebody who hopefully will be able to build a economy set and enjoy.
Or you can sell them off, because I think those kind of went up in price a little bit.
Nah, I'm not that kind of dude.
Well, you make up for that $500 you just spent on a dryer.
Yeah, I'm currently on a campaign to try to get Puka Trade to expand into including Vanguard cards. So,
Whoa, wait, what is that?
oh, Puka Trade is a site for Magic where you can, instead of just trading cards with people that you know, you put up cards that you have available to trade away, and you put up your want list, and then cards are worth a certain number of points. So if you trade away a card, you don't necessarily have to get a card in return or pay money, but you can accrue Puka points for it. And then you can spend those Puka points to receive a card from somebody else. So it really facilitates that secondary market and takes out the monetary portion of it.
Okay. And then also I was wrong about them going up in price. They're only like $1. So go away. Go ahead and
they're super commons. Yes, reindeers were commons. I got a ton of them. But they're going to go to a good home where they'll be well taken care of.
Well, the only reason they didn't go up in price is because there was a wedding print of it, a wedding dress print of it.
Oh, well, and also the reindeer has been reprinted twice as promos and stuff like that.
Yeah, once as a promo and then once in another set.
Yep. So
yep.
She's as out there as Silent Tom these days. All right, so the pre-release is next week. And I do encourage everybody to go to the Bermuda Triangle pre-release, even if you're not going to be playing Bermudas. At least you will get some cards as fodder to trade to other people who will be desperately looking for Bermuda Triangle cards and will pay any price to get their waifu into their deck. I can't believe I used the word waifu, but there, you just
waifu.
So the first thing to look for at your pre-release is that they have now introduced a completely new rarity level for parallel printing. So not only is there the SGR, which is the special print for the Generation Rare. There's only one Generation Rare in the set, which is Celebrate Voice Loris. But there are regular SPs, which are the secret parallels, or special parallels. I don't know what it is. But now there's also the WSPs. The WSPs are the SP cards, except with alternate art where they are in wedding dresses. So, Jack, I don't know if you remember this or you may have been out of it for this particular release, but there was a release of Bermudas where they kind of had the black cards and the white cards. That was a similar thing, wasn't it? Where the card was actually the same. It's just one of them was in sort of black art and the other wasn't in white art.
Well, you see, I don't believe I was in the game for that that part. So
somebody look.
I mean, I recall like something like that happening. I'm just not positive.
All right, we'll look that up for our errata next week when it'll be all Bermuda Triangles all the time.
At this point, we need to get something wrong on purpose every episode so we can have an errata.
Something to talk about. All right, so Jack, you have been, since you love Bermuda so desperately, you've been watching the prices in the Japanese market.
Yeah. Well, I'm just more interested. Like the economy, like of card games, is just kind of interesting to me. So I've kind of been looking into it a little bit. And boy, oh boy, you're gonna have to sell a few organs for these cards.
You're gonna have to dump out your yen jar.
Yeah. Sell off your no dryer repairs for you guys after these cards.
So is it what's going on with the cards? Is it the SPs and the WSPs, or is it only the WSPs?
I'm not positive, but I'm pretty sure, because most of the time the only cards that go up is the highest rarity of a card. Like the other, like if you compare it to the last card that went up in price that I can recall is well, so both rarities of card will go up in price, but the SP is like to the higher rarity is to like an ungodly degree, while the other one will go up like moderately.
And
so like
the SP for Amnesty, right, is still over $100.
Exactly.
And
so like that's not going to go down.
Yeah,
because that's the highest rarity.
Is a stamp on it, right? There's nothing really different about the art.
Well, it's full art, isn't it? The regular GR isn't a full art, is it?
I don't know.
Yeah, so there's no text box, so it's just the text on the card, and then there's like a hot stamp, and then it's all super pretty and stuff.
So, Cole, you are driven more by art than by gameplay. I'll just put that on you. What do you think about having this like alternate art where the cards like there's really no difference?
It's kind of cool, but I don't know. Then you get the people who are those rarity hounds, and then they kind of like control your opinion on them. Or if it's not like the best, then you know what I mean.
So, do any of us care about having a full foil deck?
If I had the money for it, I would care, but I'd rather have multiple decks that I can play rather than one deck that is all foiled out.
Yeah, I'm a quantity over quality kind of guy.
Yeah, so if any of us were interested in Bermudas, would we be chasing down these wedding dress cards?
I don't know, that reindeer. No, I'm just kidding. Never.
No.
But
Nope.
Have you looked at the art of any of them? Because I've heard that the art is amazing on the wedding.
I have. The art is very, very nice, but it's not worth $400 nice.
Yeah, I just remember the foiling on some of the older Bermudas is actually it's really well done. It's really beautiful.
It is. They always focus on those cards because that's where they make 95% of their money for every year is on Bermuda Triangle stuff.
Or is it because everybody wants to be like Emmy in the cartoon?
It's because there's people out there who have there's some guys out there that have obsessions.
Predilection for cartoon ladies.
Me and my
ladies.
Me and my group of friends that I used to play with, we referred to them as people with salty neck beards.
Oh Lord!
And those are the Bermuda Triangle players. If you're a Bermuda Triangle player and you listen to this episode, then you don't have a salty neck beard, but everyone else does.
Awesome. You're a thinking Bermuda Triangle player. So, Cole,
you're not a sheep Bermuda Triangle player.
Can you go through the cards that are going to be in the SP and the WSP level? So, if people want to take notes, go through them with a little pause between each one so people can write down what cards by name they should be looking for as they go through their pulls at the pre-release.
All right. So, starting off, we've got http://
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Okay, starting off, we have Celebrate Voice Laris, which that was the SGR, right?
Yeah.
What's the GR and the SG? That's the cover card.
Yeah, that one will literally have 4 different prints in the in this set. It has the
GR, SGR, SP, WSP.
Correct.
Oh wow.
Oh goodness.
Okay, and then there's I'm gonna guess that's Prism, Image, Sunshine, Vert.
Yep.
And then there's Frontier, Star, Coral.
Oh, and just a quick mention, because I don't think we're gonna go too in depth into like card effects this week. Prism, Image, Sunshine, Vert is the first stride with a limit break. So that's just kind of an interesting little tidbit of information for you guys.
That's another first in this set.
Yeah, nifty. Okay, and then there's
Nifty.
Well, you know.
Who says nifty anymore?
Hey, don't skip Frontier Star.
Oh, I said that, but okay. Frontier Star Coral, and then Peaceful Voice Reindeer.
Oh yeah,
Woo, reindeer.
Sparkle in Her Heart Spica.
Yes.
Spica. SPICA.
Spica.
And then Prestige Setia, that's CETIA. And Hand in Hand Leona. Great Ascent Liddy. Brand New Prism Garnet.
Which is some Steven Universe fan service right there.
Okay. Good to know.
Okay. Good to I wouldn't know about anything about that, but okay.
I don't know it yet.
Garnet is a character on Steven Universe. I don't even watch that show and I know it.
Well, you're just committed to
pop
to
culture.
touching our fans in special ways.
Whatever.
Anyway,
Only some
there's
of them.
there's Magical Charge Vita, Brilliant Ocean Ellie.
That right there is a kind of a fan service kind of hint for the ocean, which is a real life thing. For those of you who didn't know, the ocean does exist on the East Coast and the West Coast of the United States of America.
Can you name how many oceans there are on Earth, oh planet Cray?
I wouldn't know because I'm on planet Cray and I don't know anything about
You
Earth.
are the planet Cray, and you look at the Earth constantly. Come on, name our oceans, sir.
I believe there is Atlantic, Pacific, Indian, Arctic, and I'm forgetting one. I know there's 5. I'm forgetting the last one. You can help me out here, Earthlings.
There couldn't be an Antarctic Ocean?
Yeah. See, you don't even know. Come on now.
Didn't you just graduate from high school? Do I need to call up the state of California and have your diploma revoked?
I went to a private school. They have nothing to do with the state of California.
I was gonna say that's like middle school knowledge.
That's like
Yeah, that
grade
too.
knowledge is more like it.
Yep.
But true.
All right, next on the list.
All right. Garland Blossom Anya.
That's
I think
also
it's Ana.
that's also a hint to a little nod to flowers because flowers blossom.
All right.
Sorry, continue.
Miracle Twin Tail Wise WYZ.
Whiz.
Yeah.
Whiz.
I like whiz.
Whiz.
So those are your 13 that are going to come out as potentially wedding dresses. If you are at the pre-release, so some pre-releases, they just hand you the pre-release packs and they're like, have a ball, there's your pre-release pack. Some of them actually do them as drafts, which is what Bushiroad intends. So if you are doing it as a draft, if you open a pack and see a wedding dress, you grab that card. Because there is potential that card is going to become very, very valuable and be able to buy you a few booster packs or a few booster boxes down the line, down the road.
Even
hold on to them.
Even though it's kind of frowned upon, I've seen like people complain about like Magic the Gathering drafts, where like if you're playing a draft and you draft an expensive card because it's expensive and not because it goes with your deck, people frowned upon that. But like, just take the money and run. Like if it doesn't go with your deck, who cares? It's money.
Yeah.
Like
guess what?
People are too hardcore. Yeah, exactly. People are too hardcore. They're just mad because they couldn't do the same thing.
Well, you know
so
what?
Take that wedding SP and run
fast
into the sunset with it.
They'll win the promo playmat while you have a valuable card.
Or my bad, swim into the sunset because you're a mermaid.
There you go.
There we go.
All right.
With a salty neck beard. Anyways.
If two of the non-SP, WSP, triple rare, so each of those cards we just mentioned will have 3 printings. They'll either be triple rares, they'll either be SPs, or they'll be wedding SPs. So there's basically three different art styles that you'll be able to see on those ones. But there are a few that are that we kind of looked at that are cards that will not have an SP, that will only have a single rarity, that are worthwhile to look out. So Jack, what's the first one that you pulled out from that list?
That is Prism Image Sunshine Rosa. And the reason that this is kind of like stands out to me is because it's somewhat similar to a card that Angel Feathers have, and that card is Nurse of Broken Heart, which is ironic because she's a broken card. And so what Prism Image Sunshine Rosa does is you Soul Blast 1. When your other unit is returned to your hand from rearguard, if you have a Vanguard with Limit Break, you pay the cost. If you do, you choose one of your other units, and then that unit and this unit get plus 3,000 power until the end of the turn. So just at first look, this seems really good. I'm not sure how often Bermuda Triangles have stuff bounce during their turn. But this is a lot more restrictive than Nurse of Broken Heart, but that's okay because Nurse of Broken Heart is probably too powerful, and that's why Bushiroad has like considered limiting it at some points. But so basically, this card is good because every time you bounce a card during your turn, if you have a Vanguard with Limit Break, which you'll be able to do more easily now with some of the cards in the new set. You get a big power boost, so you get up to 6,000 power You get 6,000 power every time you bounce a unit.
So
it's just really good and helps hit numbers.
Set. So here's the deal. Remember that if you stride, then your Vanguard is the stride card. It is no longer your grade 3. So if you have a limit break on your grade 3 and this card requires that your Vanguard have a limit break, that's not going to work. Because sorry, one more thing. So I just realized that this card does not have a gen break restriction, so you can use it if you're just on grade 3, like the turn before you stride. Yes, so if you have a grade 3 with a limit break, that's cool. But if you are striding, it will only work with Prism Image Sunshine Vert, since that is the only grade 4 that has a limit break 4 on it. But if you stride if you stride Olivia over a Bermuda Triangle that has limit break 4, that limit break 4 goes away, and this card will not work. Also, we're going to go over it in more depth in our clan review next week, but one of the key things about the way that Bermudas play is typically they take an action, which is usually your attack, and then after the attack, they return cards to your hand. They do not stay rested on the field, and that's called bouncing. So whenever we talk about bouncing, that's what we mean, is when you return a card from one of the rear guard circles to your hand. And it looks like that Sunshine Rosa basically does a plus 3,000 power boost to herself and to one other card every time you return cards to your hand. And since that's what the Bermudas are built around, that's probably going to happen quite a bit. All right, what's another one you were looking at, Jack?
So the last kind of not waifu SP card we're going to talk about this week is Admire Successor Lyrica. And so the reason that I think this is interesting, it's not necessarily that it's a good card. I believe it's an okay card. It might see some play in Coral builds. But the reason this is interesting is because it kind of gives support to an older mechanic that Bushiroad hasn't really supported in a long time, being ride chains. So we've kind of seen this happen we saw this happen last set with the Enigmans, and it's kind of happened every once in a while. So like we saw Ripples get a lot of support, and they were a really good deck for a while. And so it just kind of leads you to believe that Bushiroad's starting to support more ride chain decks, and that they might like support even for ride chains even further in the future, which is why I thought this was interesting. So basically what it does is when this unit is placed on Vanguard or rear guard, you can reveal 5 cards from the top of your deck, and then you search for up to 1 grade 2 or less card with Coral in its card name and put it into your hand, and then you shuffle your deck. And then if you do, you choose a card from your hand and put it into your soul. And then while this card is in your soul, you can choose a grade 2 or greater card from your hand and then put it into your soul. And then if you have a grade 3 or greater Vanguard with Coral in its card name, put this card into your hand and then call it to the rear guard, and then another unit gets plus 2,000 power. So it's just kind of a boost to the ride chain deck in general. And it's kind of interesting because we don't know what Bushiroad will do for sure in the future, but we can expect more ride chain support.
And also, Frontier Star Coral, her ability is focused on having multiple copies of cards with Coral in their name in the soul. That there's actually, I believe it's a bounce that occurs based on the number of corals that you can soul blast based on her price. Let me just read through that. I was interested in the way that Coral works. So Frontier Star Coral is a stride, and you have to, don't have to Persona Blast, but you do have to flip over another card from your G zone. So one of those G Guardians that you're not going to use, or what is that? Sabreeze. Yeah, if you haven't used Sabreeze, just flip Sabreeze face up. So it's on attack, you pay the cost, you soul charge 1, and this is the interesting part. Choose up to the same number of your rear guards as the number of cards in your soul with Coral in its card name and return them to your hand. So that's the bounce. And so if you can get 5 Corals into your soul, then you can bounce your entire field on attack. So it doesn't have to be a successful attack, it's just when it attacks. And then for each unit that you return to your hand, so if you do all 5, then Frontier Star Coral gets power plus 5,000. So that's possibly a 25,000 boost until the end of the turn. And then if you have already flipped a Frontier Star Coral in your G Zone, or if you do a Persona flip, you can draw a card, choose 2 cards from your hand, and call them to separate rearguard circles. So you can basically get 2 more attacks in there. I like Coral. I think a Coral build might be something for people to look out for. We'll see how expensive Coral becomes. And Jack was saying,
I mean, the old Coral is only like $10 to $15, I believe, right now, so it shouldn't be too expensive.
Coral build.
Everyone's more focusing on prisms right now for anything else to go up in price.
And we will talk about that next week, but there are a number of subclans under the Bermudas. So, prisms, duos, corals, reindeer is kind of becoming a subclan now. Lots of stuff, lots of ways that you can play Bermudas if you want to, invest that sweet dollar. So there were 2 other cards that I wanted to mention that are not in the Wedding Dress Secret special parallel prints. One is Prism Image Sunshine Clear, which is a new critical trigger. So if you are doing a Prism subclan build, there were not enough critical triggers previously for you to do as many as people typically run in a set. So now you've got 1 more critical to use, and you can...
I believe that trigger also had a really good effect too, didn't it?
I didn't look at the effect. I was just happy that it had a crit trigger.
Yeah, because I almost put that in the doc, but then you said you didn't want to talk about card effects too much. But yeah, if this is the card I'm thinking of...
It does have an effect, so let me read the effect. You have to counterblast 1, choose a card named Prism Image Sun Clear from your hand, reveal it, and return it to your deck. Ooh, so you get to return a crit to your deck. Nice.
Yeah.
When this unit is returned to your hand from the rearguard circle, when it bounces, if you have a Vanguard with Prism in its card name, you may pay the cost. If you do, search your deck for up to 1 grade 1 or greater card with Vert, Rosa, or Clear in its card name, call it to a rearguard circle, and shuffle your deck. You may return the unit called with this effect to your hand. So, bounce it?
Yeah, pretty good effect.
So you get to call a Vert, a Rosa, or a Clear to... Wow, so you can call a Rosa to your rearguard circle, and then, bouncing it is not going to help. But if you have a Rosa out there, you can call a Vert, bounce it, and give
it will help. It will help because it goes really well with the grade 2 that gives you power every time you bounce a card.
That's Rosa.
Yeah.
That's
Rosa, yeah. So there you go.
Well, no, but if you bounce Rosa, giving her the plus 3,000 is not going to help. You want to you want to have a Rosa out there already, or call somebody else.
Exactly, but it gives you more opportunities to bounce cards before you attack.
Yes, yeah.
So
it's like a free bounce. There you go. Love those bouncing Bermudas. And then the other one. I wanted to talk about the Duo Create Quill Ilia, which is a quintet wall. So quintet wall means when you play it to your guard circle, you counterblast 1 and you pull the top 5 cards of your deck into the guard circle as well. Now, typically what you then do is add up their defense power to be the overall amount of defense that you're using in the for that attack. But with Ilia, you actually... If you have 2 cards with the same name when you pull the top 5, you put those back on the bottom of your deck. So, and then if you do that, you can draw a card to your hand. So that basically means those 2 cards can't be used to guard, but you are drawing a card from your deck, so you get 1 more card to use to guard with if you want to. So I just thought that was interesting. It's also duo support, which duo is another subclan in the Bermudas. So I don't know how that plays, so that might be very important for the way that works for the duo subclan. All right. That's all we want to say, so be sure to be on the lookout for things like that at the pre-release. I really encourage everyone to go to the Bermudas pre-release. Just even if it's just to get trade fodder for the rest of the year, because come December, January, people are going to be looking for those Bermudas, and you're going to have them in your binder, ready to trade away for more Amnesty Messiahs.
Well, you have to find someone to marry eventually. Why not pick a waifu SP and marry them? Search for the love of your life at the Bermuda Triangle pre-release.
My waifu is in Persona, so I guess is there a Persona Weiss Schwartz?
Yeah, actually.
Persona 4. You go. All right, what's our term of the week before I get more into Weiss Schwartz talk?
It is harmony.
So
harmony
is the key word for the Bermudas. And Cole, have you been studying? Do you know how harmony works?
I've got the wiki up here.
That's cheating.
Well,
Cole,
30 seconds to plan isn't enough time.
We've been planning this since like 1 o'clock this afternoon.
I didn't know I would be doing harmony. And
I just want you to tell me how it works. Then we'll let Jack expand. I'm testing you, brother.
Okay. So it's an ability that activates when a different unit is placed from your on your Vanguard circle or Rearguard circle in the same column that the unit that had harmony was in. And then both units harmonize or in a harmony state, and then they are both together in harmony.
Yes.
Is that how that works?
So what it is, you have one card that has the harmony keyword. That has to be in the column first, and then if you put another card in the column, then both cards become in harmony. So if that first card has a skill that requires that it be in harmony, that skill kicks off. If there's another card on your field that requires that you have cards on the field in harmony, then they will kick off. So both cards do not have to have the harmony keyword. Only one of them does. Am I getting that right, Jack?
I believe so. Not positive, but sure. Go with that. There's always Will's errata for next week.
Hey, more things to talk about.
And if one unit leaves the field, then they are no longer in harmony. But they can, if they change positions on the field, they are still in harmony.
So basically, what this does is it just allows Bushiroad to print more powerful effects because Bermuda Triangle already does this a lot of the time anyways, so it just gives them an excuse to print more powerful effects because the requirement is more, not necessarily more difficult to happen, like it just doesn't always happen, so the effects can be a little bit stronger than if it were just a regular unit. And yeah, I think that's it.
All right, you ready for some listener email? We've been waiting for this for weeks and weeks and weeks.
Absolutely.
All right. We got an email. It looks like it's from Drew, even though the name on the email is not Drew. So we're just going to say it's from Drew. And I will read it. This is in response to our episode where we went over conjecture about what the new mechanic might be that Bushiroad might introduce. Some interesting things to look forward to.
Yes, episode 15.
There you go. So this is from Drew. It says, "Hey Will," because Cole and Jack aren't getting this email. "Hey Will, big fan, but I think the idea you had at the end where you combined the clans was cool, but to equal it out, you could, instead of just combining power cards like other card games, you could keep it simple and just create cards that could be used in multiple clans, like Cray Elementals, but between 2 to 3 clans, for instance like a bond between Pale Moon and Gear Chronicle. A card that you can choose a card from your soul and time leap it for a cost of Counterblast 2 or something like that." From Drew.
Okay, so like dual clan cards.
Dual or triple clan cards, yeah. I think that's really cool.
We've seen a couple of examples of this, like being Blaster Blade Spirit and Blaster Dark Spirit, because they're both considered Royal Paladin, Gold Paladin, and then Shadow Paladin and Gold Paladin, respectively. So those are like the only So those are like the only examples we have.
Well, technically, reverse cards can be played in Link Joker decks. Yeah,
exactly. So. Yeah, but that's like the closest example we have to it because it actually says it printed on the card. It's also considered a gold palette or I don't know which way it is, which, like, if the card actually says it at the bottom or if it's in the text. Like, I don't know which clan is which.
It says it's a royal paladin in the clan, and then it says this card is also considered a gold paladin.
Okay, so yeah, and they have seen play in both royal paladin and gold paladin decks. Not sure about Blaster. Oh no, and Blaster Dark has been seen in gold paladin and shadow paladin decks. So there you go.
But yeah, I'd like to see something
Yeah.
like maybe like trader cards, or I don't know.
I think this could be potential. This could have potential to be like the next mechanic they kind of introduced, because it's already had some relevance in the game.
Yeah, and they just need to make them like tech cards, something that you can tech in a couple.
Yeah.
To boost your deck. All right, there's more. P.S.
Oh.
There aren't any card stores near my house, so a good idea for the podcast could be for people like me and you guys who don't usually have time to go out and play Vanguard, would be if you made a Drive Check Skype and one of the members from Drive Check could log on and fans could Skype him if they wanted to play a game. We do that? I mean, we do. I Skyped with a couple of our listeners. All you have to do is ask. We go over our Twitter accounts at the end of every episode, and I think most of us are pretty open if you can schedule a time and if we're available to do a couple Skype battles.
For only $99 a month,
for $0 a month. We don't have a Patreon until episode 52. For a Patreon level of $5 or $50 a month, you can have 10 Skype battles with any one of us you wish at any time you wish. No, but yeah, no, I think we're all definitely down for that. Just
totally
contact with us, and we're happy to do it. Happy to practice, and you don't even have to be good, and we'll help.
Yeah, because Will and Cole aren't good either, so it's okay.
Whatever.
All right, shots fired.
Who's got 2 Amnesty Messiahs and who's got a bunch of nurses with syringes?
And fire dragons.
Who has a card that literally says it's broken in the card name?
Doesn't matter.
Nurse of Broken Heart.
Oh, whatever. She's not a real dragon.
She's not. You're correct. But then I have my flame dragoos here. The flames of the apocalypse
we need
cannot
to bring
be
this
stopped.
Episode to a close, so I'm not even going to get into it. Thank you, Drew, for writing in. If anyone else would like to write in, the easiest way right now is to send an email to Will, WILL, at PKMNCAST.com. That's Will at PokemonCast.com. No need for me to get a new email address for multiple podcasts that they may or may not be involved with. So yeah, send them in. I am going to bring the show to a close. So we typically, thank people for, or ask people to put reviews in iTunes, and we are up to 10 reviews in iTunes, which I love because they're all 5-star reviews, which is awesome. But any other listeners, if you can go into iTunes and give us a review, it just helps boost our visibility. I would greatly appreciate it. And I do read through them, and I can tell pretty sometimes who wrote what reviews, but I'd love to see more mystery reviews from listeners I don't know who they are because I haven't already had a Skype battle with them. I do want to say thank you to everyone who has been a listener, and if you tell your friends and promote us, I would greatly appreciate that. And really, Cole and I will be at Gen Con. I am generally an open and friendly person, so don't be afraid to come over and say hello. I'm pretty sure Cole is just a regular guy, even though I've never met him in person. So you don't have to be afraid of us to just come over and say hi. If we don't like you, we'll just turn our backs on you and not talk to you. But
yeah, I would go. I'm just too large to fit in the main hall because I'm an entire planet. That's not really going to work out.
We cannot fit the Planet Cray into the Indianapolis Convention Center. I know it has a better name than that, but I can't remember what it is. I'd like to say thank you to SBJ and Nick Burgess for all their help. Nick is the one who creates our beautiful music for intros and outros. And then if you want to reach us on Twitter, we do have the show Twitter account, which I should check more often because for some reason I'm not getting notifications when people retweet at it. But that's at drive_check, DRIVE_CHECK. And then if you want to just contact me directly, my own Twitter account, which I do get notifications and pay attention to quite a bit, it's Wash in the Sink, WASHINTHESINK. And Cole, where can they reach you?
Cole_McCune. That's COLE_MCCUNE.
And Jack?
And I'm at drive_Jack. Thank you guys for listening to this week's episode of the Drive Check podcast. And no, it wasn't too big to eat in one mouthful. Thank you.
That's really sad.
We're talking about wedding cake here, Will. Get your mind out of the gutter.
Slice. I want